talking Payoneer, net spin, Venmo, stash. Too many ways for you to run my cash.
Check reparations, 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 check reparations.
Well, if you talking compensation, it's about that time. You get everybody.
Oh yeah, we're back and we're talking about California Black Reparations Task Force concludes historic 2-year work. Okay, what did they conclude? See, you always
Hold on. I got one question.
right.
So it don't take 40 years like HR for it don't take.
No, apparently not.
Oh,
As a matter of fact, if let's
even though it's a nothing burger.
okay, all right. I just wanted to see what the other pictures look like. I like that one better. But it goes on to say Morris Griffin of Los Angeles speaks during the public announcement, commenting. That was the black dude you seen in the front. And it says that California's first in the nation slavery reparations task force wraps up its historic work Thursday with the official submission of the report 2 years in the making, one that documents the state's role in perpetuating discrimination against black residents and suggests dozens of ways to atone. The report heads to lawmakers who will be responsible for turning policy recommendations into legislations. Reparations will not happen until lawmakers and Governor Gavin Newsom agree. The recommendations include a formal apology to descendants of people enslaved in the U.S. and
You can have
financial
that.
compensation. Yeah, you can keep that. And financial compensation for harms the descendants have suffered, such as over policing, housing discrimination. The panel also recommended the state create a new agency to oversee
Nope, don't
reparations
care.
efforts.
Nope, don't
Nope.
care.
Nope. It's been a whirlwind. It's been a very work intensive, but very cathartic and very emotional, said Camilla Moore, 31, task force chair, Los Angeles based attorney. We're standing in the shoes of our ancestors to finish essentially what the sacred project started. The 9-member panel convened on June 2021 after Gavin Newsom signed the legislation in 2020 creating a task force. The panel is picked by Newsom and leaders of the Senate and Assembly include descendants of slaves who are lawyers, educators, and elected officials, and civil rights leaders. But I think that's
Sound like hand-picked coonery.
And I think that's trickery too, because they said descendants of slaves, and they didn't say descendants of U.S. slaves like they previously did, which could mean that they're slaves of, I don't know, maybe the Caribbean. Trickery. Reparations efforts at the federal level have stalled for decades, but the cities,
Decades.
counties, and school districts and universities have taken up causes in recent years. But if they haven't been giving out cash, that is not reparations. An advisory group in San Francisco has recommended that qualifying black adults receive 5 million lump sum payments, guaranteed annual income of at least 97,000, and a personal debt forgiveness. San Francisco supervisors will take issue with this later the year. That's not about right in San Francisco, y'all. See, one thing that I want y'all to know, if you're not aware, how they playing with the numbers, 5 million seems like a lot, but if you think about the average housing cost in San Francisco, it's like 1.5 million. It's like 2 million.
Right.
So you just can't give somebody 1 or 2 million and be like, here, they go that ain't nothing. Everybody in California that's living in a house, you would almost automatically assume that they got a net worth that would support them in a house that is millions. You know how much the mortgage is on $1 million house, son?
Yeah, depending on what your percentage is, yeah, it's quite high.
That's like 6-7 grand a month, B.
At least. Closer, above 7.
Yeah,
Mine's 5.
You know what I'm saying? Dude, come on now. So they're doing that this is like dog whistling too to scare other people, other naysayers and deniers. Oh, 5 million. Oh! They ready to just have a meltdown and break down. Black people are going to be richer than me.
But give it to Ukraine. We get them 6.4 billion every time we think about it, and it's a nice round number. Afghanistan 6.4 billion. You get 6.4 billion. You get 6.4 billion. Black people, you do not.
New York could be the second state to create a commission to examine the state's involvement in the institution of slavery to address the present day gaps in economical and economical. They keep doing educational. And see what they don't tell y'all people about the education piece is how you gonna offer education to somebody 35 and up. When is the next 50-year-old finna go get back on the college campus with their little hover around? With their little push chair? I mean, sometimes black don't crack, but come on, man. Y'all trying to create a new school days? Like, what are we doing here? Like, you know what I'm saying? You say everybody finna be G5G and all of that now? Like, stop. Ain't it only a handful of black colleges to go to so that everybody finna move to the South and go to the historically black colleges? What are we doing?
Well, now they're making it where you can just go online, of course. So now you can just be online.
Now listen.
And by the way, Morehouse, if you qualify, they're giving away free tuition for older black gentlemen.
Didn't know that. It says California entered the Union as a free state in 1850, but in practice sanctioned slavery and approved policies that practiced and that thwarted black people from owning homes and starting businesses.
So you don't say.
Really?
Liberal California, huh?
Black families were terrorized, their communities aggressively policed, and their neighborhoods subject to environmental pollutions, according to the groundbreaking report.
Democrats did all of that? Wow. To black people?
You don't say.
All while you was voting for them?
The whole time.
Huh.
Vote blue no matter who, huh? Ted Mondale, Skip Humphrey. Those are some of those old California Democrats. Don't ask me how I know that. Well, because I used to do telemarketing for the Republican National Committee before I knew better. Before I knew better. And,
but that just goes to say about some of us that do whatever to cut the check.
Oh yeah, I was getting paid. I was raising donations. I was lying to the people on the liberals like Ted Humphrey and Skip Mondale and what was her name? Barbara Boxdale. I remember that. I didn't even know. Like I wasn't even politically inclined at the time, so I was just saying it. I didn't know I was gone.
I think it's Skip Humphrey.
Skip Humphrey.
The other one goes with Mondale. Yeah.
Yeah, Barbara Boxdale.
Who cares what their names is? Mix them all up.
Right. I was calling it. But my point is, those was the liberals that was doing stuff to black people in California. I know specifically because we was calling on the California race for Senate.
All while we was just voting for them.
Yeah, they just voted for him. Anyway, listen, man. The point is, they're trying to dip, dive, and socialize. I just want to see what they want to leave you with because it's all splainage. But it says black people subjected to aggressive policing and prosecution in the war on drugs in 1971 to 2020 could receive $115,000 if they lived in California through the period of more than 2,300 for each year they lived in the state during this period. I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't like it. How do I prove that? So if I can't prove that I lived it, so if I was homeless there because of your practices and policies, how do I show that I was there?
They say for elders and economists recommended, for example, nearly 1 million for a 71-year-old black person who lived all their life in California. That's 13,600 per year for health disparities that shorten their average lifespan. It's saying the panel did not recommend a fixed dollar amount for financial redress, but endorsed methodologies that, not mythologies, but methodologies by economists for calculating what is owed for decades of over-policing, disproportionate incarceration, housing discrimination. Initial calculations peg the potential cost for California for more than $800 billion, more than 2 times the state's $300 billion annual budget. Although the cost was reduced to $500 million in a later report without explanation. So wait a minute. Just because the number looked big, it had to be reduced. You see that? Oh, the number looks
Right.
too big for y'all. We got to reduce that to 500 billion. But guess what? That's okay. So they're saying their budget is 300 billion. How y'all getting that money? Off the backs of who?
Mm-hmm.
How y'all, you know what I'm saying? How are y'all able to bid? Man, I've been in California, dude. And boy, when you drive up that Pacific Coast Highway, all type of
You said what?
the Pacific Coast Highway,
Yeah, what about it?
it's just a lot of money around there.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
a ton. I'm talking about you see a house and you have to assume the house is $24 million.
Right.
It's right on the beach. And there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions and millions of $24 million houses. How y'all get that? And you saying no way in hell black people could be in none of them. Like, we wasn't allowed to, fam.
Yet it's already been proven that y'all done snatched some of that beach property up and had to give it back.
Right? Like Bruce's Beach, for example, and there's probably countless other examples. So it says the task force narrowly voted to limit individual financial redress to residents who can document lineage from black people who were in the U.S. in the 19th century, thereby excluding more recent immigrants. That's great.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what they left you with. I can deal with that. I can deal with all other little skipping and hopping that they was talking about. Just make sure it's us that get it. And look how much they owe just us.
And I don't like the more recent immigrants. The term immigrant, like,
Yeah,
hold on, hold on. All of us weren't immigrants, fool.
and that's the problem with America. We the only people that they can't deport.
You smell me?
That's their problem. We the only people they can't deport, son. They have a real problem with that.
Pray.
Y'all brought us over here and we're gonna get what we got coming. First of all, we're coming to
And hold
Washington.
on, you only brought some, P. I'm saying you brought a small portion, P.
Yeah, true. We're doing that, and then y'all can do this too, just in case there was any confusion about what we're talking about here. Okay? Got 4 words for you that I need you to do. It is subscribe if it's a vibe, like for the spike in the algorithm, comment your vomit, share if you dare, wear player over there on all them platforms, Norm. Yeah, I'm talking about. That's how we get down. Other than that, 4 words: love, peace, blessings, and aloha. And you know I'm out the door, high for show, high. And you already know how.